Hello everyone, and welcome to my SW24 update channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Why fans of Sister Wives say Janelle Brown's distaste for Kody is false. According to Sister Wives, Kody and Janelle Brown's relationship has been strained for a while. Janelle has become tired of Kody's antics in season 19. However, admirers claim that Janelle's distaste for Kody is entirely unfounded. Kody is no longer with Janelle Brown. Despite years of holding back their remarks about Kody Brown, Sister Wives actors Mary, Janelle, and Christine Brown have been more outspoken in season 19. Throughout the season, Kody is the target of numerous insults, particularly about money management. With a glimmer of optimism in her eyes, Janelle Brown was packing and departing Flagstaff, Arizona, in the most recent episode. Christine Brown Woolley says she still has nightmares about Kody when she wakes up. But according to Janelle, she doesn't give him any thought. Then, despite some tense moments, Janelle and Christine talked about the birthday date that Kody took her on. However, Janelle accepted his offer after acknowledging that she had nothing else to do. In other respects, she is aloofly pursuing her goals without consulting Kody. She moved into her new life, leaving her Kody-designed necklace behind. Why supporters claim that Janelle Brown's distaste for Kody is false. Sister Wives followers argue on Reddit that although Janelle Brown presents a strong front, they don't believe her disdain for Kody Brown is genuine. She viewed him as a disruption and has started criticizing his behavior. However, some believe it's all a charade. One user notes that Janelle was glad to turn to her spouse in a time of weakness after viewing the birthday flashback. According to one Redditor, Kody was disrespecting Janelle and her children during the date, which took place during a stressful time in their lives. The fan believes Janelle was eating out of Kody's hand at the time rather than confronting him for neglect. The Redditor shared a flashback from the most recent episode of Janelle Brown and Kody going on a rare date during season 18 as the family was falling apart. Other users shared their thoughts. Some Sister Wives fans pointed out during the conversation that Kody Brown's big gesture of securing reservations at Mariposa wasn't as impressive as it seems. There were plenty of spaces available for the cutest restaurant in all of Arizona, according to some individuals. Additionally, once the relationship failed, some observers considered Janelle Brown's propensity to conceal her emotions as a protective mechanism for her heart. Furthermore, some believe she is rewriting history to ease the memory for herself, in a move that has left the Sister Wives fan base reeling with outrage and disbelief. Longtime viewers were stunned when ex-Sister Wives Janelle Brown and Mary Brown, instead of joining forces to safeguard their own financial interests and dignity in the wake of a long, bitter history with Kody Brown, instead opted for what many fans are calling a stupid move that appears to betray years of hard-fought independence and solidarity. According to sources circulating on social media and whispers in fan forums, the decision, made during a recent episode of the show and later confirmed through off-camera leaks, saw Janelle and Mary agree to an unprecedented, hasty settlement deal over a contentious piece of property that the family has long clashed over. A move that many believe undervalues not only the tangible assets at stake but also the years of sacrifices and behind-the-scenes contributions they made to keep the fragile Brown family functioning despite overwhelming internal strife, and for many fans, it represents nothing short of a betrayal of the very principles they once celebrated when rooting for the Sister Wives to stand up against a domineering patriarch and an exploitative system. In a single episode that has since dominated online discussions, Janelle was seen nodding reluctantly as Mary confirmed that they had decided to accept a deal, allegedly negotiated with Kody's representatives and his current wife Robin, that would see them receive a significantly reduced payout for their share of the disputed property, a decision that has sparked a firestorm of criticism among viewers who argue that by accepting such a settlement, Janelle and Mary are effectively caving into Kody's long-standing attempts to control the family's financial destiny, thereby sacrificing not only their own leverage but also the chance to set a precedent for fair treatment of ex-wives in polygamous households. Fans on platforms like Reddit and Twitter have been quick to express their disgust, with many decrying the move as stupid and short-sighted. insisting that the settlement not only undermines the legacy of resistance that these women built over years of public and private battles but also sends a dangerous message that financial exploitation can be normalized if one does not fight aggressively for every penny owed. One popular post read, "After all the drama, all the tears, all the sacrifices, how can Janelle and Mary just sign off on this deal? It's like they're saying, sorry for all the pain, now take what you want." And that's a slap in the face to everyone who believed in holding Kody accountable. As the episode unfolded, it was revealed through hushed off-camera confessions and tense negotiations that the property in question, a sprawling tract that had once symbolized the promise of a shared future and collective family wealth, had become a bone of contention between the remaining factions of the Brown family, with Kody and his current wife Robin allegedly exerting pressure to force a quick resolution while Janelle and Mary, already isolated by years of bitter disputes and diminishing trust, found themselves caught between the desire to move on and the fear of further financial exploitation. Critics argue that this settlement, reached without the full consensus of the once unified sister wives, is not only a capitulation to Kody's relentless maneuvering but also an abdication of their power to demand what is rightfully theirs, a move that, in the eyes of many fans, confirms that the legacy of the Brown family's internal strife is far from over and that even those who once fought for their autonomy may ultimately be forced to compromise under mounting financial and emotional pressure. The tension was evident throughout the episode as viewers watched in shock as Janelle, who is typically so composed and calm, looked visibly uncomfortable and regretful as she signed the paperwork, her hands shaking slightly and her eyes downcast. These details caught the attention of the show's most devoted fans, who later compiled screenshots and clips on fan sites and social media platforms, reinforcing a narrative of incompetence and betrayal. Mary, on the other hand, was seen to be offering little resistance, her subdued tone and resigned expression suggesting that the decision had not been made lightly but was the only choice left after years of fighting an unyielding system where Kody's influence and the weight of his financial control left her with little room to maneuver independently. Longtime Sister Wives fans have, in subsequent online forums, expressed a mixture of anger, grief, and incredulity at what they see as a lack of accountability, calling on Janelle and Mary to not only betray the interests of all the ex-wives, but also to undermine the legitimacy of the movement that once aimed to regain agency in a family structure that was created to take advantage of women's weaknesses. One fan bemoaned, "We watched you struggle, we cheered you on, and now you're letting them walk all over you? We didn't know this." Janelle or Mary, according to some, the decision may have been motivated by a mix of fatigue and the harsh realities of a protracted, bitter struggle against a system that is biased in favor of a man who, despite his repeated failures to manage family finances fairly, still holds disproportionate power that compels even the most morally upright women to make concessions in order to keep their families afloat. According to some insiders, the settlement was reached after years of arduous negotiations that left Janelle and Mary with no choice but to accept a deal that, although far from ideal, promised some financial relief and the opportunity to finally put an end to a difficult chapter in their lives. However, the real shock for many fans is not the specifics of the deal, but rather the belief that, after years of internal conflict and public battles, the ex-wives have effectively given up on fighting for the full value of what they helped build. Some call this a stupid resignation, a move that betrays the spirit of independence and self-worth that once defined their struggle against Kody's overwhelming control. On Twitter, detractors have been quick to criticize the decision, with hashtags like #FightForYourWorth and #NoMoreSettlements trending among those who believe that the only way to truly regain dignity is to refuse any deal that does not fully honor the contributions and sacrifices of every woman who once fought tooth and nail to be heard. As the fallout from this decision continues to reverberate across social media, fans are engaged in heated debates about whether this compromise represents a strategic retreat or an outright surrender to a system that has long silenced their voices. A number of former insiders voiced their displeasure with the decision in interviews conducted after the episode aired. One close to the ex-wives admitted, "I always knew they'd eventually be forced into a corner, but I never imagined they'd let it come to this. Accepting a deal that basically writes off everything they worked for." Others cited the wider ramifications for the future of the sister wives story, arguing that if Janelle and Mary are willing to compromise so readily, then what hope is there for accountability and equitable treatment in a system that has repeatedly rewarded Kody's combative methods over cooperative decision-making? Janelle and Mary's representatives have only made brief statements in the face of this storm of criticism and disillusionment, claiming that the settlement was reached after long and difficult negotiations and was the only practical course of action given the circumstances. They assert that the settlement will enable both women to move forward with their lives and concentrate on fresh starts rather than being stuck in the never-ending arguments of the past. These remarks, however, seem hollow to many fans, a final, painful affirmation that the sister wives' world's promise of empowerment and justice is still an unattainable ideal. The legacy of the Brown family and the role of its once celebrated sister wives are being rewritten by a new generation of viewers who demand transparency, fairness, and the kind of uncompromising strength that refuses to be intimidated by a system built on inequality and betrayal. This is evident as the debates continue and the community deals with the fallout of what is widely considered a stupid move. Therefore, as the cameras roll on future episodes of Sister Wives and the story of survival, power, and family continues to develop, Janelle and Mary's contentious decision will surely serve as a stark reminder that in the world of reality TV, every action, no matter how seemingly practical, can spark a firestorm of public outrage, leaving fans to question whether true empowerment resides in standing firm to one's convictions or in the painful acceptance of deals that betray the very essence of self-worth. For years, Sister Wives captivated audiences by providing an intimate look into the unconventional lives of the Brown family, a world where love, loyalty, and personal sacrifice were pitted against the harsh realities of a polygamous lifestyle. The show, which was first praised as a groundbreaking series that questioned social conventions and offered a unique glimpse into the difficulties of plural marriage, progressively transformed into a biting critique of a system that, in spite of its claims of solidarity and support for one another, eventually revealed profound cracks and hidden realities. As viewers and critics have started to focus on the alarming claims of child neglect that have surfaced from behind the meticulously crafted facade of shared households and communal living, what was once a celebration of a drastically different family structure has recently devolved into a full-blown scandal. The argument that has recently gained traction among a vocal fan following claims that the Brown family, who have long been admired for their apparent dedication to rearing a big, interconnected brood, has actually been ignoring the emotional and physical needs of their youngest members. The children, who were supposed to be at the center of this great experiment, have been left to fend for themselves in an environment tainted by inconsistency, neglect, and an overwhelming focus on drama over genuine care, according to rumors circulating on social media that are bolstered by snippets of off-camera confessions and leaked production notes. Whether on purpose or not, critics contend that the program blew up the myth of polygamy by highlighting the inconsistencies in the practice as well as the human cost of a way of life that puts public spectacle ahead of the welfare of its most vulnerable members. These reports claim that behind the glistening cameras and the planned family moments, the Brown kids were left alone for countless hours, their cries for attention being overpowered by contentious family arguments and the constant pressure to project a flawless image on TV. According to one unnamed source, young children were repeatedly forced to adjust to hectic schedules and changing parental roles, leaving them bewildered and emotionally damaged by the erratic dynamics of a home where affection was scarce and discipline was applied arbitrarily. As the series went on, devoted viewers noticed small clues that depicted a much darker picture than the one the cameras were permitted to record, such as a missed birthday here or a rushed school drop-off there. The appearance of harmony and festivity gradually broke down as it became apparent that the kids, many of whom were too young to understand the complexities of their family structure, were quietly suffering behind closed doors. A former nanny described how the younger Brown children were frequently left alone for hours on end as the adults argued about property disputes and personal slights in one particularly distressing piece that swiftly went viral on fan sites. Together with first-hand reports from neighbors and school officials, this testimony has sparked outrage among viewers who believe that the Brown family's most innocent members have been neglected, which is the true cost of their public drama. These disclosures have irreversibly destroyed the narrative that Sister Wives unintentionally contributed to creating, a romanticized vision of plural marriage as a peaceful, albeit unorthodox, alternative to contemporary family life. The reality seems to be that the children are caught in the crossfire of adult conflicts, their needs reduced to a secondary concern, as a result of the ongoing infighting, the legal wrangling over shared assets, and the obsessive focus on maintaining public appearances, rather than a supportive network of multiple mothers providing endless care. How can a family that claims to be built on love and unity neglect the very children they're supposed to nurture? Is one of the disgusting tweets that some followers have posted on social media. And Sister Wives isn't just a show about polygamy, it's a cautionary tale about what happens when adult drama overshadows the basic responsibilities of parenthood. These remarks highlight a growing belief that the show, which was first praised for its daring examination of alternative family models, has now turned into a mirror reflecting the darker side of a system that has let its most vulnerable members down despite its promises. Industry sources have said that the focus of production meetings, which were previously centered on ratings and dramatic plot twists, has now changed to a more serious agenda: how to handle growing worries about child maltreatment and the psychological effects on the Brown children over the long haul. We always knew there were issues off camera, but as the legal battles and personal disputes escalated, it became impossible to ignore that the kids were paying the price, disclosed a former producer who spoke on condition of anonymity. Such accounts have not only stoked public outrage but also sparked debates about the ethical responsibilities of reality TV producers in representing and, perhaps unintentionally, condoning practices that harm children. It was no longer just about ratings, it was about the welfare of these children, and that reality was too disturbing to gloss over. The show's editing, which frequently cuts away just as the cameras catch a child's crying look or a moment of parental abuse, has been criticized for continuously downplaying these serious concerns in favor of more sensational, scandalous stuff. The image that is shown to millions of people and the somber reality that many insiders maintain is taking place behind the scenes are incongruous as a result. The growing chorus of critics, both among child welfare advocates and within the fan community, contend that the neglect of the Brown children is not an acceptable byproduct of entertainment, despite some supporters of the show arguing that Sister Wives is simply a reflection of a complex, imperfect reality and that all families have their struggles. Rather, it serves as a sobering reminder that the innocent suffer when adult aspirations and the desire for self-interest take precedence over the fundamental responsibilities of care. Given this, the series has unintentionally turned into a case study of the unintended consequences of a system that values spectacle over substance, a system that has revealed the darkest, most troubling aspects of polygamy instead of promoting it as a glamorous, alternative way of life. The Brown family's experience, as told on Sister Wives, is now entwined with a warning about neglect, raising the question of whether the appeal of other lifestyles can ever outweigh the costs in terms of children's welfare. Viewers are left with a sour taste as the series goes on, raising concerns about the morality of a reality program that, despite its never-ending drama, might also be feeding a cycle of neglect that might have a long-term impact on the lives of its youngest contestants. In the court of public opinion, the child neglect disclosures have not only damaged the Brown family's reputation but also sparked a heated discussion about the obligations of reality TV producers. Is entertainment sufficient, or is there a need to make sure that participants' lives, particularly those of the most vulnerable, are not jeopardized for the sake of ratings? For many, the answer is obvious: no amount of entertainment value will ever make up for the expense when children's innocence is at risk. The legacy of Sister Wives is thus being reassessed as the show's last episodes draw near, not only as a daring experiment in alternative family structures, but also as a seriously flawed narrative that may have overlooked the very values it once professed to support in its quest for dramatic storytelling. While the show may have popularized polygamy as a viable alternative to traditional family life, it also exposed a darker reality that the Brown children, enmeshed in a never-ending adult drama, must ultimately face, according to the mounting outcry from fans, child advocates, and even former insiders. And while the cameras keep rolling and the arguments go on, one thing is painfully obvious: the story of Sister Wives is not only one of scandal, love, and treachery, it is also one of neglect, one that forces us to face the human cost of a society that all too frequently puts spectacle before the basic duty of care.